Great, great. Okay, so now that we've went over the rules and we remember what we're looking for as far as the place values and where those belong, let's go ahead and move on to a real problem, rounding decimals, and see if we can get that. Okay, so here's our first example. We're going to go ahead and put round each to the nearest whole number. Okay, so first we're rounding each to the nearest whole number. So if I were to give you a 56.89 and I was to tell you to round that to the nearest whole number, what number would you look at? You would actually look at this 6, and we look to the digit to the right of it, like it says on step 1, correct? And so, like it says on step 1, if it's greater than 5, which 8 is greater than 5, then we add 1 to the 6, making it 57, and we drop all the digits to the right of it. So the 8, 9, would we keep that? No, we drop it. If that were an answer choice, the zeros, that would be okay. A 57.0, that's the same thing. As long as we have this 57 here, that's our answer. So this 56.89 to the nearest whole number would actually round to 57. So there's the first example. It'd be a great idea to write these down so you know what I'm talking about, what I'm looking for. And okay, let's do another one that's rounding to the nearest whole number. Okay, so if we were to do 42.89, okay, and again, we're still rounding to the nearest whole number. So we look at this 2 here, and we look to the number, the digit to the right of it, which is 8. So again, it is greater than 5, so we add 1, making it 43, and we drop all these digits, so giving us 43. So that would be our answer for that one. See, I mean, it's pretty easy, you know, it's pretty easy to grasp. So there's that one worked out. Let's do a different type. Let's do 71.32. Again, rounding to the nearest whole number, so we're still looking at the same digit, and we look to the right of it, right? Okay, and is this number greater than or equal to or less than? Then 3 is less than 5, so we just go down to 71 on that one, and that's our answer, because we just drop these numbers, giving us the answer of 71. So that's a kind of different one, rounding down, if you will, instead of up. So let's do one more example of these whole numbers, and then we can move on to rounding to the nearest tenth, just trying a different place value, but the same concept. So this one is going to be rounding to the nearest whole number, still the same type. So let's look at it. 90.10. Okay, we've got 90.10 here. Okay, so we're still looking at the same. We look to the number to the right of it. It's less than 5, so we just go up 1 here, Let me see, hold on. 90. No, we don't go up one because it's, so we just stay the same here. We just drop all numbers to the right. So 90 would be our answer. So there's rounding to the nearest whole numbers. Very easy. Once again, working with decimals isn't difficult. It's just the matter of knowing the rules and things like that. So now we're going to round to the nearest tenth. Okay, and we're going to begin with 92.3. So we have 92.3 up here. And we're trying to round to the nearest tenth. Actually, 92.34, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're rounding to the nearest tenth. So if we 92.34. Okay, so we're going to look at this 3 here, because this is what place value we're looking for. We're going to go ahead and look to the right of it, and we have a 4. That's actually less than 5. So we just drop it, right? Drop it. Everything to the right of it, because it's less than 5. And we just have 92.3. And that would, again, be rounding to the nearest tenth. So let's do another one of those. It can get confusing when you're looking for different things. So let's look 10.55. So here we have 10.55. We look at this number here and we look to the right of it. It's actually equal to 5, so it'd fall in the equal to or greater than, category, the rule. So we'd actually stay at 10.6 because we would add 1 to the 5, making it a 6, and then we drop everything to the right, remember? And so we'd have an answer of 10.6. So there is that one. So there was a couple of examples of the rounding to the nearest tenth. So using decimals is not difficult. If they were to put a decimal into a word problem, let's do an example of one of those, because that will be on your worksheet and you need to get familiar with it. It's the same thing, just putting a few words in there. So we're going to put, the question actually says Peter ran a mile in 2.63 miles. 2.63 miles. Okay? So round his distance to the nearest mile. So we're rounding this number to the nearest mile. So that would be like the first ones we did, to the nearest whole number. That's asking the same thing but in a different way, in a word problem type question. So we look at this whole number and we look to the right of it. That's a 6. That tells us to do what to the 2? It tells us to add 1 to the 2, making it a 3. So that'd be 3, and that would be your answer. But since we're talking about miles, we need to label it, remember? And our answer would be 3 miles. So that one is not difficult. Not difficult at all. Let's do another word problem. Okay. Alice ran a mile in 1.24 miles. Okay? So round her distance to the nearest tenth of a mile. So this time it's asking for something different, the nearest tenth. So let's look at this. We look at this 2, and this 4 tells us to do what? This 4 is actually less than 5. So it tells us just to drop it, and you're left with 1.2. And again, we're talking about miles, so don't forget to label it. and there would be your answer. So there's many different types of problems, but as long as you realize where the place values belong or where the numbers you're looking for are, then all you do is just underline it, look to the number to the right of it, greater than 5, or if it's less than or equal to, you have those rules there and you're able to do anything as long as you know the place values. So get familiar with those, because we will be tested over those pretty soon. And if you are able to do these type problems, I will probably put them on as bonus since we just learned them and we were just introduced to them. So I'm going to hand out a worksheet and y'all will be able to do that, and I'll be walking around. If anybody has questions, feel free to ask me. I'm here to answer anything. I know I'm not taking a grade over this, so don't worry about that. Just do your best on it, and I just want to know if you understand the concept and if I taught it well to you. So feel free to ask as many questions as you want. That's what I'm here for, and not a grade, so again, don't worry about that. And at the end, we'll just go over it, and hopefully everybody does fantastic on it and we're able to move on to something different next week. But I hope everyone has a good weekend, and at the end of class, whenever we go over the paper, y'all will be left a few minutes to just talk and before the bell rings. So I guess just work on this. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you for your participation, and thank you for being so smart again today.